In the name of God, the most benevolent, the most merciful, the most advanced, this feels like a last talk for a while. Moment. Dear viewers, I wanted to talk about something I've noticed and realized that I think it's worthy of global discussion and attention. I find myself as a member of the human species, and even though it has not been normalized, but living for the honor of our species is important. You start off considering the value, your life having a value to you, and then you begin to see that existence is an interconnected event of various roles, of, in some sense, the ownership for position. In the same way, humans seek power. Manifestation for those invisibly present is a power. It is a power of reach and a power of access from within to without. And this idea that from we're existing from the outside in, and we're experiencing from the inside out. And I have been fascinated by not all the ways we know humanity, but all the ways that we don't know yet, and the future generations will know. I can feel it. I can feel in the present while I'm in 2025 events that will happen in the future. And it's not events I can know, but I can feel them as if the seeds have been planted in the soil and the soil doesn't look normal, doesn't look undisturbed. We are looking at an intervened position of intelligence. And we're starting from a position of not knowing where we are, what we are, because in reality, it's too big and it changes, it's too dynamic. But, anyways, my point is, guys, I feel like the soul, human soul, is a convergence of the life force or the intentions of two dimensions. I believe that it's a very important clue. It's a very deep, mysterious, existential clue that creation happens from the inside out. Do you know what that means? That means we are all born like the human being is born from within another human. Do you understand? When you communicate, we consider that from within you, you are sharing without you, outside of you. So it's very important to consider the human position. And pretty much, guys, I'm making this point like, guys, I'm seeing the pattern from within to without. It's unconditional to conditional, from outside to inside, it's conditional. Let me give you a perfect example, even a secular example. I want you to imagine that when we looked at a tree, we did not see the tree bark. We looked at the tree and we saw the subatomic particle level. So the form and the shape of the tree, we saw it subatomically. That would be the first reality, and then the other realities would be the second. I'm trying to say it doesn't matter if you are outside of the tree. I'll give you an different example. It doesn't matter if you are outside of the car or inside of the car. When you are inside the car, you can move the car. But when you are outside of the car, you cannot move the car. Similarly, I consider our physical, biological position to be a sort of like a vehicle. I believe that I am semi inside the body. I believe I'm starting to realize it, guys. Our human bodies are not completely used by us. Okay, we don't understand it. We only receive the individualized aspect of it. So think of it this way: this whole time, you've been identifying as an individual, but a collective activity and event has been taking place. You have been introduced to your individuality, and then you're discovering your collectivity. That means because we don't remember what was going on before this life, or how Olam al Arba was, we therefore treat this as the first reality. Therefore, this explains the test of existence. Existence is pretty much souls are being tested to see if they can notice that the world they find themselves consciously in is not the original world. Like, just think about it. How many things it's a relationship from inside to outside, okay? Like the food that goes in your body suggests how outside of your body looks like. Again, back to the vehicle analogy. I get in the vehicle, I can drive the vehicle. When I'm outside of the vehicle, I am not driving the vehicle. It's another way of saying that when we are in deep sleep, we are not in the vehicle. Consciousness is not in the vehicle. Consciousness is nowhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. Not just because I'm saying it, because I'm saying that it's a clue, yo. We're created from the inside to the outside, and yet from the outside, our memory starts from the outside. You know what this means? This means there is a divine surveillance state within the moment. Yeah, what human birth is dimension shifting. It's not being born. The soul was already created before birth. You know, the what is within us is sacred. Okay, pretty much the inside can naturally convert to the outside, the outside can't naturally convert to the inside, which is another way of saying this might be an externalizing reality. In the same way, your awareness starts through your body, and then you notice others, and then you notice the world. We're noticing a trend that intelligence in the universe goes towards expansion. Expansion is very natural. Now, I am saying that experience is inside out, existence is outside in. In other words, we need the world before we can have a body, before we can have people, but we need an inner life to move before the outer life can follow it up. So it's obvious, it's very obvious. The human experience, guys, just like reality is dualistic, it's dualistically happening. The illusion has been singularity. Oneness has been the illusion, not the oneness of God, the supremeness or the uniqueness of God, but I am saying that you're in a dualistic world and they've convinced you you're an individual, but it makes sense that there is an opposite complement. This talk is coming from within to without. Intelligence is external. Okay, I got it. So, dear viewers, look at the screen. You're going to see me bring up the notepad. All right. So, how do I explain this? All right, guys, this is coming too slow. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most benevolent, the most merciful. Dear viewers, I'm going to speak to you this lecture. Pretty much, I wanted to bring to your attention that I'm noticing that there's a relationship from within to without and from without to within. When I look at the human position, I as 1 in 117 billion human beings that have existed, considering a 300,000-year-old range. Uh, I am, I pretty much, I was raised in a way of acknowledging life, and then I started from scratch, wondering about everything, and now I have come to conclusions that are different than how we have in substance been conditioned and raised. So the way I would explain it to you is that you have the human position, just look at yourself, the human being. In front of your eyes, I want you to imagine the point where your eyes are, your biological eyes. It's very crucial. In front of your eyes, you have access to an external public physical server, an existential public server. But behind your eyes, you are living in a private, subjective, experiential server. And I know this. I know that what is looking through your eyes at the back, that behind all the thoughts you have is the field, it's an awareness of a field. You're a field of activity. In 2025, you have a body that is like acting as a node for an individual identity. However, anyways, to keep going, you have an inner life, you have an outer life. Okay, the life behind your eyes is your whole moment of awareness where your body and your thoughts are part of the moment. I am right now a part of your moment. I am not your whole moment. Your whole moment is aware, includes your outer realms and your inner realms. I am only capable, if you were standing in front of me, to notice your outer realms unless you communicate, right? So pretty much we're living an inner life and an outer life, and it's a dualistic reality. And the fact that they convince you that you're one being this whole time is very fascinating. But at the same time, there is a truth to it in the sense that all existence is occurring in one momentary position. That means you don't need to create infinite moments. You just need to create one moment that can be simulated infinite times. That's the nature of the world we find. So, in front of your eyes, you have to deal with your outer life, and you're required to be responsible for your outer life. However, your understanding of your outer life, is based on your inner life. And I'm making the point that there's a relationship of intelligence experientially moving from within to without, And existentially, it's the without trying to comprehend the within. It's like we're legit standing on the top of a vertically positioned coin, and on one side we have experience trying to justify existence, and from the other side we have existence trying to justify experience. That means in the same moment that you're internally experiencing your external existence, is simultaneously a moment where your external existence is wondering about your internal experience. It is very clear, and you should know by now, that being human is not a normal thing because we cannot see the edge of our world, yo. The fact that they've managed to convince generations of people to behave in the same way is astonishing. You see, we are designed, it's like we're natural, we are that part of nature designed to handle the unnatural. I'm pretty much saying that experientially subjects are becoming objects, existentially objects are becoming subjects, or sorry, I should say it the other way around. So existence, it's already existing, the only thing it can convert to is into an experiential value. And experiential value, you're already experiencing your experience, how you're an experiencer, so it can only convert to existential value. So pretty much your inner life can only the purpose of your inner life is to exist. The perfect purpose of your outer life is to experience. But they confuse this. Why do they confuse this? Because people think that you're here to experience only the outer life. That means, I'll give you an example. Uh, when imagine your father gifts you a watch, you know, might be a fake watch, but still, he gifts you a watch, you know, that's an existential object. That's an object that's existing. But because my father gave it to me, the experiential value, the sentimental value is much greater than the existential value. And really, in life, where the way at least religion is conditioning man, is trying to guide man, not condition, try to guide you. Why? Because the premise of religion is that you are not living in a simulation. To me, if like this is how you know somebody's living in a simulation. You ask them what is the most important thing in your life, and they're gonna be like, my life, me. Most people, they are the most important thing in their life. How do you know this? Because at the cost of others, they survive. But that will change. Human beings are neither resources to be used to advance civilization, and they are, neither just users of like reality. Let me say it this way. I'm some dude who's probably the first person in history to call himself Mr. Within. Okay. And also, probably one of the early human beings to speak about an advanced civilization or the value of an advanced civilization or to emphasize it this much on Earth. Okay. To truly advance civilization, just like advancing any moment, that means I should be able, like, if I want to advance civilization, which means 8 billion human beings, the conduct, the output of 8 billion human beings, the expression of 8 billion human beings. That's what civilizational intelligence is at first. You experience your existence and you continue to exist to experience. It's legit like a sine wave. It's like this energy that experiences to exist and then exists to experience and then experiences to exist and then exists to experience until it realizes that what is actually experiencing reality is not limited to the human ideological containment boundary. That means it might be as hilarious error that humans are trying to figure out reality in a human way. And the fact that we feel God is humanized. It is God's mercy from another angle, but from another angle, God is not human. God is beyond the conditions of existence. That's what God means, an unconditional original state, an original causal state that doesn't change. An unconditional being can use endless energy. An all knowing being doesn't need to do anything to know anything. What is truly needed in human life? What is the purpose of experiencing existence and then existing to experience it? It's simultaneous. Due to the dualistic nature of reality, therefore, two positions have two different purposes. That means the purpose of life is pretty much you're in a dualistic world, which means things come in pairs, and you are keeping two ways of your own being in one way. The higher power is. We're individuals because there is collective intelligence. That's why we're individually intelligent. So, anyways, guys, when we're born, we're journeying from within to without, from inside to outside, and then we require to live a life from outside to inside. That's really it. Because what within means to me means the more I go within, the more I go to that moment before there was any condition without, like externalized condition. So you're an inner being with this external body, and you're an you're an inner being with an outer body, and you're an outer being with an inner body, which is your subjective self. It's like an unknown divine life is being lived, but due to the dualistic nature of reality, it's like rather than trying to see one color, we're seeing two colors that are making that one color. You know, reality, I think, is about access, and I think it's also not about knowing everything, but understanding your position and your role. And I find humans are designed for their intelligence, and they're pretty much, you activate as a human when you live for something more important than yourself. If you live for yourself and you make yourself the most important thing, yes, you might think that's in the world. Like, how do I explain it to you? If you make yourself the focus, you will miss out on yourself will eclipse you from what else is here other than you. Some people are in this world to be themselves. Some people are in this world to see what else is being other than themselves. You know, that's where it gets fascinating. All the stuff I know, I know. It's what I don't know. When the conversation is about a topic that nobody knows or is very unknown, that's a beautiful conversation. Because, guys, it's like I'm telling you, communication, knowledge, understanding, and learning, it's legit like battle, guys. You don't learn unless you're in the front lines. To be in the front lines, you must face the opponent directly. The opponent for the scholars is the deep questions on the meaning, on what reality means. I'm telling you, your life is not just based on what you think, it's based on the problem you choose to solve. I believe there's giant problems here in this world. And we've been born in unique ways so that we can be answers and we can be complementary. We're like the missing puzzle pieces to existence, yet we're the moving part. It's kind of like realizing, like, there's a hand moving the puzzle pieces, and we're a puzzle piece, and we're trying to fit in the right moment of our being and in life. And I'm telling you, at some point you'll discover that there is an invisible hand. The system is alive. It's an intelligent system, guys. It has a system admin beyond the world room. It has created mods, moderators in the world room, and then we are users, created users in the room, in the world room as well, right? And the users are being tested in the same way theologically Adam and Eve were tested, to see if they can remember the original state, the original world, the original authority, the original power, rather than listening and still being convinced by simulated realities. You're pretty much a being created by an original being. You forget that you're original. You enter a simulation. You can't discover your originality because your whole existence has been simulated. So you require the presence of an original agent. Every person, the ideological life leads to the requirement of an agency beyond the human condition. It's another way of saying, like, a tree can't know how it's being a tree. It needs that outside perspective. In the same way, we humans cannot know how we're really being human. Do you understand? Because the methods to understand our humanity is the human idea. Our limitation is what we're using to see how limited we are. Do you know? And that's the issue. So I am telling you, more as the years will go by, you will realize that all the people that have been liking, disliking each other, thinking they're enemies or friends, all the racist people on this planet, anyone who's ever been racist or anyist or sexist or whatever, they're all going to realize in the future, or their descendants or their genetical line, their lineage is going to realize that it's a field of activity, that our presence is the same. Our existence and experience is not the same, but the presence of everything in one moment of being is. Anyways, folks, this is all I have for you. Wonder about the inside outside relationship. To me, the fact that we're born from within a human being, like, look at it. All the creative stuff is creation, is an from within to without process. Okay, all this thoughts and ideas is coming from within to without. Do you understand? You were born from within to without. You want to move in your inner realms, you move, and then your hand follows up. You're sitting on the couch watching TV. In your inner realms, within behind your life, in your inner life within you, you in some sense see yourself already opening the fridge door, but you're still sitting on the couch watching TV, and your body automatically just plays out the film. So I am telling you, there is an inner state that prepares the outer manifestation. And if you are someone that doesn't understand how the outer realms is happening, it's because you're not acknowledging that there is an inner condition there. It's like there's a preliminary state, or I don't know how to say it. Like there's a precursor precondition, okay, before the manifest condition. So, as you live in this life, you will realize you have been conditioned to treat things as nouns, as known nouns. You're going to understand it's an unknown verb. You're going to realize behind everybody's thoughts, and where thoughts actually come from, is the presence of a divine field. I use the word divine field because it's not human, and also because it functions in accordance to command. So, free will is the quality of the lower manifestation. As you wonder about the higher planes, you see that the presence, there's, for example, there is Alam ala Malakut in Islam, which means the realm of angels, the world of angels. Okay, and angels are beings that don't sin. They are perfected beings, and I don't know if Christians know this, but in Islam, Shaitan, Satan is not an angel. It's a jinn. It's a pious jinn. It's a jinn that was very close to God. But it was made from a smokeless flame. Human beings were made from, I guess, the metaphor of the clay, and angels are made from light, theologically speaking. Anyways, where am I going with this? I find that if behind our eyes there is a unified command to being, that means imagine God gave a command to existence, exist. And also, God gave a separate command, like a more specific command to me to exist. So, the command of the world's existence is also applying to the command of my specific existence. Now, the question is, you try to figure out how your soul was commanded into existence, how you, like, why you're here. Okay. And it's pretty much like, honestly, it's like soldiers in like that World War II movie scene, Enemy at the Gates. The Russian soldiers, some of them were given bullets, some of them were given guns, and they were sent to the battlefield. They couldn't turn back. They could only go forward, and in going forward, all the variables were unknown. This life is designed so you don't feel safe. It's designed to expand territory based on the expansion of awareness. This world has been designed to, as much as you want to keep it the same way based on your belief, it is designed to, the soul is, the conscious soul is designed to engage the unknown, to go forth in the unknown. Understanding that is very key, because the fear of our life, like what we fear about our life, okay, is what we're considering to be real about us. Okay, that means many people, of course, fear. People say it could relate to the amygdala, kind of takes you into a reactive state, but sometimes you got to wonder about the cost of being yourself. And sometimes the cost of being yourself is not having access to different ways that the moment can be made aware of. That's the cost of wanting to be something specific in reality. The other options, the other realities are inaccessible. And that's the nature of it. You're kind of here, given an awareness to see the options and then choose. And sometimes choosing quickly is good, is very good. It's a blessing. But of course, who knows the true depths of the nature of reality? Anyways, folks, thank you for listening. I hope this lecture was interesting, and Honestly, I don't know. I'm at a point in my life I feel like I need to go on a vision quest and to figure things out more. But this idea of like, whoa, we're born from inside to outside, we're experiencing reality from inside to outside, but from reality from outside. Like, let me tell you what it is. Because you don't remember um, your original reference point of your inner life, because you don't remember your soul, you identify with your externalized body. Pretty much I'm saying that it's not that where it's a certain function. It's like you go to the Eiffel Tower, it doesn't matter how you feel about it or what you want the Eiffel Tower to be. It's a structure regardless. It's a structure, existential structure regardless, and existence itself is a structure regardless of how we feel about it. Usually our thoughts and meanings are for our sake. you know that means sometimes when I have an opinion on a topic, it's not for the sake of others unless they ask me a question, but I'm saying like it's for the sake of like it has some value to me. And in this, life is very fascinating because not only are you subconsciously seeking what you assume or consider to be higher values, but the context to the conceptual value can shift the conceptual design, therefore shifting the conceptual value. What does that mean? The world can change what yourself means to you, but yourself can also change what the world means to you. And when yourself changes what the world means to you, that's your inner life, your personal life. When the world changes, pretty much what you mean to it, that is the outer realm, like outer realms. You got to understand, guys, you're in two rooms, but you're experiencing them as one. But it's two rooms, yet you're experiencing them in one moment. Okay, it's like, yeah, there's simulated reality, there's a cause and an effect, but there's an original state. In other words, human understanding is limited to duality, even though we are found in singularly present, in the presence of a singular moment. And anyways, may God guide us all. Rabbi Firli, my Lord, forgive me for all the sins that I am conscious and unconscious of. My Lord, forgive the species for all the sins it is conscious and unconscious of. Ya Rab, my Lord, guide all manifestation to the direct path. Let us truly realize how great your creation is. May the species remember where it began. Thank you for listening. In the name of God, the most benevolent, the most merciful.